We're standing on Crockett Street in downtown Beaumont in front of a row of historic buildings that were probably built around the turn of the 20th century. They were built along the railroad track where the railroad came through town, so they were an important part of the business district there. At some point, parts of Crockett Street became more notorious than they were mainstream establishments. Beaumont had always turned a blind eye, more or less, to prostitution as long as it was in some remote corner of the town. However, this was not, and at some point the Dixie Hotel became a brothel. But it was considered to be a very fine one, and the clientele was limited. The employees there were supposed to be the prettiest girls around, and it was not the sort of thing that anybody could just walk in off the street and patronize. Miss Rita was Rita Ainsworth, and she was the madam at the Dixie Hotel. She started out life in one of the brothels in town, and then ended up marrying the son of the owner. His name was Nat Ainsworth, and they together operated another hotel until he died, and then she took the money that was left in the estate and bought the Dixie, and it was hers for years until it was closed down. We're coming into the Dixie Hotel. If you were a patron of the Dixie, which was a bordello, you would have come in through this door, and then you would have gone up these stairs. And when you got to the top of the stairs, there would have been a counter there, and you would have checked in at that point. We're now in the interior of what would have been the Dixie Hotel, the floor, the operations floor. And at one time, this was just a series of hotel rooms with a long hall, and there were also living quarters for Rita Ainsworth, the proprietress of the Dixie, and her family. Her daughter, she sent her daughter off to an exclusive Catholic school because she didn't really want her to know what she did for a living, and the daughter did not know until she was in high school that her mother ran a bordello. Miss Rita had a really unusual but very efficient system set up to preserve her patrons' privacy, in that there was a system of locks and bells, and when a patron came in to go to one of the rooms with the girl, the rest of the room doors were locked until he was safely inside the room with the girl. And this was in order that no other people might come out of the hotel room when he was going in, so that these people did not see each other and didn't have to acknowledge each other's presence in the hotel. Tom James was a state representative, and he was young and ambitious and idealistic, and there was a fear at that time that national organized crime was going to come in and take over parts of Texas. And he and the other members of the commission, it became named after him because he was the chairman, and he was also the most ambitious one. The James Commission was a state legislature mandated group that came down not just to Beaumont and not just to Jefferson County, but also to other parts of Texas as well, Galveston being one that comes to mind. And they were to investigate the possibility that organized crime had already penetrated these areas. I don't think they really found the national organized crime, but they found lots of local crime. So there was a United Citizens for Law Enforcement, UCLE, that was formed. They began to try to get action taken. There were eventually indictments against some of the local officials. Some of them were removed from office, others were just not elected. The Dixie was ultimately closed down, although Miss Rita continued to operate in another set of buildings, and she operated out of her house for some years, but she died in the 70s. Crockett Street today, this part of it is wonderful. You can, of course, go dance at the Dixie Dance Hall, which is a country and western venue that was made from the old Dixie Hotel.